Welcome to Dave's Cooking Show, and for you today, we have a pulled pork barbecue sandwich. Now, we got to make the rub for our pork butt, which will be 4 teaspoons of salt, a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of dry mustard, a tablespoon of brown sugar, and about a teaspoon of pepper. I think I decided to use white pepper for this. No, I used the black stuff. Then you just want to grab a little spoon and mix all this up. Make sure everything's well mixed together and apply it to your pork butt. All right, let's move on to the next step. Oh, I actually decided to use a whisk. Okay, as you can see here, we got a bone-in pork butt. And I'm just using a little paper towel to pat this sumbitch dry. So, yeah, just pat it dry with a paper towel, and then we'll be ready for our rub. Okay, and rubbing's pretty simple. Just keep applying generous dustings of our rub mixture until every single square centimeter of this meat is covered in said rub. It'll take a couple of minutes. You'll have to probably wash your hands a few times. And don't feel afraid to all that excess on the cutting board. Don't feel if you want, you can always dab the meat in that like I'm doing here. All right. Okay, as you can see, the pork roast has been rubbed and the smoke is getting heated up. And we're basically going to smoke this for hours. What I did was I smoked it for about 3 to 4 hours on the smoker. And then I finished it off in a 275, 300 degree oven. But yeah, this will take a long time. So if you want to do this sandwich, basically start your meat in the morning. Buy everything the night before, is what I'm saying. Okie dokie, now let's move on to the sauce we gotta make. Starting off, we'll need 1.5 cups of ketchup. And then you want to add 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And then you want to add a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, and a 1/2 cup of water. And now we have to add 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. And time to add the spices, which consists of a tablespoon of paprika, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of pepper, and a little bit of salt. You want to be careful with the salt, because again, the ketchup and the mustard and all that. And basically you just want to whisk all this together until everything gets smooth. And then place on a burner over medium to medium-low heat. And you basically want to simmer this for about 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. Then you want to kill the heat, let it cool, and pour it into a condiment bottle. You know, the ones I use on the show all the time. Okay, as you can see here, our pork roast is done, the beautiful bark, and I have removed the bone that was in it. At first, I decided to get my fingers in there and rip it apart, up until I decided to go with the, 2 forks. But eventually I just said, fuck it, and went with, my kind of cleaver knife and just decided to, slice the shit out of it. All right, after we get this done, let's move on to the next step. Okay, on buns that are just barely toasted, we're gonna want to add a little bit of our barbecue pork. Now, I decided to add the barbecue sauce at the end of this. You could certainly squirt it in there and swim it around and do it that way, but I kind of like it on top. That's just personal preference. And so we'll add some pork to the bottom bun. And then you want to add a slice of white cheddar cheese to this. And then pop it in the oven, set it, 275. You just want the cheese to melt a little bit. And unfortunately, my camera did not pick up me adding the barbecue sauce to the sandwich, so we're just going to move right into the finished product. All right, as you can see here, the sandwich is completed and done. It was delicious. I recommend you make it. So that's a barbecue pork sandwich. Done.